Hi travelers, Tara here, back afresh from my little mini vacay that I had for over the weekend. It's a lot of fun. I've never laughed so hard. It's been a long time since I've laughed so hard. But anyway, this is going to be a mini cross reading, elemental. So this will be for the earth signs. I want to wish all my Taurians happy birthday out there. We're moving across May. We have some pretty serious transits that are happening in astrology. Mercury has retrograded or will be going into at 0 degrees Taurus here, and I'm going to be posting up a transit watch over on the website. And so those of you who have your charts that are seeing this, if you're got some decisions to make, or there's some things going on concerning your bank, your assets, your property, moving, anything of that nature. Take a look at your charts. Tell me what factors you're going to have that match the numbers that I'm going to post by 1 degree on either side. So say, for instance, I say Mercury's retrograding at 0 degrees Taurus. So if you've got something at 29 Aries or 1 Taurus, okay, then you will also be affected by the 1 degree transit. So take a look at your charts and then come on over. So keep your eyes peeled. Some shameless self-promotion. For those of you who might want a personal reading, who might be interested in a personal reading, you can always click on the little eye in the right-hand corner, and that'll take you directly over to the website. If you would like to purchase a reading by phone, when you get to the site, go to the menu. You'll see readings by phone. Hover your mouse over that, and there'll be a side menu that'll pop out. At the very top is a tab that says important information on booking. So please read that before you submit payment and your booking form, because it'll explain everything that you need to know about how to book a reading by phone with me. For those of you who might be interested in a private video reading, there's a tab for that. Let's see. You can get your 2 free birth charts. There's astrology. There are metaphysical articles there. There's lots of stuff over on the website, and there are website options if you choose to join. I will be starting the individual monthly tarots, the extended readings. I'll be starting those this week. So this is just a general short mini cross reading for those of you out there who don't come over to the website. So anyway, this is going to be for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So this is elemental earth. I cannot believe we're already in May. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. So this is going to be a general reading, and the messages will not resonate with everyone. So please try to take what you can and disregard what you cannot. In order to gain any clarity or a bit more understanding on what your situation, if you're going through something, requires a personal reading. And what I do is I tune in with my Akashic record guides to your particular energy surrounding your situation, and that's how we do the personal readings. My turnaround time for readings are 48 to 72 hours after you book. I don't like to make people wait. You know, some people will make you wait like a week, 2 weeks. Well, by then, hell, your situation has changed. You know, sometimes you need that information as quickly as you possibly can, so you can get it. Anyway, I have the Radiant White here, the La Vida Sibilas, and the Heart Oracle Tarot, as well as the Angel Answer cards. So let's go ahead and get started with the reading. I've got a couple of new products that I'm going to try to bring you guys here soon. So we'll just see how that works. All right, mini cross. Elemental Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn for May 2017. The Lovers, the Two of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. Well, we have one major arcana right in the center. What's under the Five of Cups? Okay. And this is the overall energy. And guess what that is, people? That's the Mercury and Taurus card. Remember, and I was just saying, you know, that this is going to be a pretty big transit because Taurus, the second house, is about your personal possessions, your personal finances, your home, your apartment. And even if this is, you know, let's say if something happens at work, then, you know, you're going to be affected. So any kind of worldwide transit, and we know that the stock market is doing crazy, wild, fluctuating things. They're waiting on tax, I don't know, cut, reform, insurance, national insurance. So there's a lot of things up in the air right now, trade agreements. And so believe it or not, even though you may not think those things affect you directly, there's a trickle down effect. So, and that's what the astrology is there to kind of help you navigate that, because it can really kind of pinpoint some things that are going to be, you know, that may occur for you. I say may because it depends on what you have going on in your life. All right. So for those of you who don't know anything about the tarot, it is divided into two groups. We have what are known as the major arcana cards. These are our spiritual and our life lessons. And they are cards like the Lovers, the Hermit, the Sun, the Moon, the Devil. Okay, here we have the Lovers. And then we have the second group of cards, which are known as the Pip cards. So they are our numbered cards, like the Two of Cups, the Five of Coins. But they also include our Aces and our Court cards, which are our Knights, Kings, Queens, and Pages. And our focus right in the center here, Taurus, is the Lovers. Now, the Lovers represents, it is, which is funny because it's also a Mercury card, because it rules the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. I just posted up an article on Mercury over on the site. So, you know, Mercury through the signs, Mercury through the houses. Mercury rules communications, travel, negotiations, sales, the internet, telephones, emails, publishing. That's more the ninth house, but anything that having to do with communication across all forms of medium, or all mediums, okay? Your voice across all forms of medium. He's also known as the trickster. And so in other words, he can give you one message, but then depending on what he's doing and where he's at and what other planet he's interacting with, that message is apt to change. And this is very true during the Mercury retrograde. I think this is going to be a very interesting month. I'm watching a few transits myself through my astrology software to try to see what I can see through this. But the Lovers is about a choice, and it is about a choice between head and heart. It is also can sometimes be the card of temptation. In one respect, this looks somewhat like a relationship reading, but then again, there are many different types of relationships. Yes, some people are not interested in getting married and having children. Some people are literally married to their work, their colleagues, their networks. And so in one respect, this is what this Two of Cups is also about. It is about a partnership. Whether this partnership is a romantic partnership, a business partnership, a friendship, a relationship, it is about that balance that you have between two people when the relationship itself is very, very copacetic and symbiotic, okay? It really helps you out a lot. Because I have the Lovers in the center, I feel that for many of you in the, and I think Virgo suns, maybe Virgo sun, moon, and rising, might be more affected by this because Virgo is ruled by Capricorn. I think there's some choices coming up. Also for Taurus, most definitely, because we do have the Mercury in Taurus. So for many of you, Taurian sun, moon, and rising, you know, this may be kind of a crunch time in terms of your finances. Taurus is usually, you know, it's one of the money signs. But I think there are going to be some decisions that are coming up where you're going to have to maybe choose between one thing and another. If this is about a romantic relationship, right down the center, I see that in one respect, the Two of Cups and the Ace of Wands says that, yes, that is a great partnership for you. Even if this is business, that there's really something positive. Maybe it sparks your creativity. Sometimes I see that Ace of Wands like that. as the creative spark. It is really about your ambition and your drive and your motivation, what motivates you. But this Lovers in the center tells me that there's something not quite right, and maybe this is what we're trying to, what this Queen of Swords is asking us. She represents the sign of Libra. And as we know, when Jupiter is in Libra, there are many mergers and there are many divorces and separations. There are new opportunities coming in for different types of relationships. So this can be about multiple relationships or multiple offers coming in. Okay. Some of these offers and relationships in terms of their multiplicity will be good. Some of them will be not. So this is really about discernment. And I dare say that some of you are coming from a space where there's been some kind of disappointment in a relationship for you. This, again, may just read like a third party coming in or a different offer coming in and kind of changing the dynamics of what it was that was going on for you. We see that the Queen here is asking for the truth of this situation, okay? And she's looking for fairness and justice and some balance and some harmony. But the swords are also about communication. So this is about belief, perception, ideas, communications, those things. And there's a question here, I think, in terms of what is the right thing to do. For some of you, the right thing to do is to walk away from that. For others of you, I think that perhaps whatever this offer or other relationship was, it did not go perhaps as you wanted, and maybe you don't even know why that is. So you're still kind of seeking that answer. This card can sometimes be about someone shutting you out, not talking to you, freezing you out. But at the same time, I think what's interesting about this card is this card, and with the imagery, this person, these two people are so caught up in their grief and their sorrow and their loss that they completely walk by a place of refuge. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that means. I think it's highly important. This could be that saying that if you're going through that right now, let's say, for instance, you presented a project and that project was turned down. Well, you know it's a good idea, you know. So now that Mercury's in retrograde, what you want to do is you want to go back, rework, revise that. So maybe this is saying that your work, because it's coins, it's the physicality of doing it and the practicality of doing it, that maybe your work will save you. So go back and look over those things. And then when Mercury goes direct at the end of May, you know, you can be ready to move forward. Maybe you can pitch it to somebody else. This could also be, if this is about a romantic relationship, that this is a time and a moment of separation, and that maybe what you're supposed to do is really to do something else. I'm not saying that I think someone may return. I don't know. It's a 5. The next step is a 6, which brings us back into balance. This really is a choice here. And maybe what the whole energy of the reading is about is not being quite certain what the correct course of action should be, whether you should do anything or not. If you should do anything, what should you do? In which direction should you go? Should I just drop it all together and, you know, just move on? So let's take a look. I want to look, because in the center we have the Lovers. And this is really about being able to find the balance within yourself. And I have 2 5s here. This is the overall. This is the 5 of Cups. And we see that there's, again, there's somebody, I think it could be speaking to 2 separate people, perhaps going through some kind of loss. Here we have some kind of emotional, and I always look at this card like an emotional readjustment. You know, yeah, okay, so things didn't go well. Things didn't go right. I'm very disappointed. I feel like it's been wasted effort, wasted time, wasted fruit, wasted labor. You see the 3 cups spill there. But there are 2 cups behind, and there's this theme of 2s here. The couple and the 2 of Cups. I don't know, sometimes this card is known as the wife, the mistress, the mother, someone you can count on in times of trouble. So for some of you, this is really about coming to the realization that the relationship has run out of road, you know, and now I'm going to have to, you know, it's time for me to leave now. This could be about literally a third party coming into the relationship. And someone freezing you out and you not understanding exactly what's happening. So you've been kind of waiting, hoping that you're going to get an answer, that an answer is going to come. Somebody's going to tell you exactly what happened or what's going on. You also have this couple here. And it's odd because there's such a difference between these two cards. They're facing each other and they're offering the cups, and there's the caduceus, which is a healing. Well, here we have two people separated by a mountain. And all the mountains represent in the tarot are obstacles and sometimes delays. And here is the angel. Now, there's always been some discord between whether this is Gabriel or Raphael, the angel of love. And he's asking you to choose, are you doing what you want to do, or are you doing what you feel you should do? And those are two different things. Because sometimes we fall into lockstep and do what we're told or we think we should do according to societal norms, which may be completely at odds with what we want to do. So that is the choice between head and heart. Okay? And that's how that card, for me, is interpreted. It can also be the card of temptation. All right? So let's take a look at what the Lovers is trying to tell us. And then I want to look at this Five of Pentacles. The two fives speak to obstacles, hassles, delays. But these are usually brought outside. For somebody, it could be, you know, their finances aren't that good. So this delay is giving you an opportunity to build up that kind of financial security or physical security that you need. It can also be about, when I say your work may save you, this may be a way for you to move through whatever it is you're trying to deal with. Sometimes just getting back into your body, exercising, yoga, whatever the case may be, can actually help dissipate whatever those energies are. Over here with the cups, I think this is somebody else who's really dealing with some kind of emotional issue. And they're kind of frozen in place right now. And sometimes, again, some advice for that person would be to, you know, get up and do something to move through your physical body. Either way, if you get up and move through this energy, find some way to negate or balance out that energy, okay, it can bring you back into a state of balance emotionally as well. And don't mope around, and don't spend too many time on thinking about whatever it is you're thinking about. I know sometimes that's easier said than done. All right, let's pull cards on the Lovers. Yes, most definitely. Third party came in. The L'Amica, the Casa, and the Riunione. And this is about somebody coming from the past back into a situation, okay? What's also interesting about this, though, is if this is about a work relationship, this can be about one of your enemies coming back, somebody that you've had a rival with. Because this Casa also looks like a bank or some kind of formal institutional kind of building, okay? Either way, the Casa represents some form of physical security. So again, this could be about money. This could be about an enemy or a rival coming back to work, or maybe you get called in to work at a new place and you get there and dun 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 dun, you know, it's the Catwoman of Kathmandu. She's back, you know. So it could play out either way. I think it's speaking to both in the relationship sense and also with the, I mean, in the romantic sense and also with the work endeavor. This is Mercury and Taurus. And this is all about the true North Node will be moving into Leo. I don't know exactly what date. That's known as the Destiny's Gate. There's a vertex, which is like an electrical point in your chart. And it runs through a few houses. So mine actually falls, I think, in the 7th house. And the 7th house represents your former, your past, present, potential lover, but also your enemy, your rival, and your foe. It is the descendant. It falls within those that house range. I think of the 6th and the 5th through the 7th house. Not exactly sure off the top of my head. But this is really moving into those relationship houses. So really a lot of you, this is going to be karma come due. The true North Node in Leo, and then the true South Node will be in Aquarius. Leo is all about lovers, children, self-creativity, dating, sex, hobbies, creative endeavors. And this is about the self. And then Aquarius is all about those groups, networks, friendships, organizations that you deal with. And so this is really karma coming up. So for some of you, you're going to be hearing from people from the past. They will be making an appearance. There will be karmic debts that you have to pay, but there will also be karmic credits that will be coming due to you. And so this is trying to figure out, you know, how am I going to spend my time? What am I going to do with that? So this could really be a time of some kind of emotional healing if you can figure out what it is you need to be doing. I do sense that this is a time that you really should focus on yourself. It's never selfish to focus on yourself when you can get yourself in balance, particularly if you're out of balance, and know when to say no to certain things and certain people. Only take what's yours. You know, don't take on anybody else's crap. Well, oh, isn't this interesting? The Vedaval, the man tied to his past, the desperate jealousy, excessive attachment to a situation, and then speranza. And speranza is hope, but it can that is really what it's translated as. But this card can also speak about fear. And these are 3 negative cards that have come out on the 5 of Pentacles. So in one respect, this could be maybe some of you having to go back to a place where you don't want to go back. This could be literally, figuratively, spiritually. It could also be about not wanting to let something go, or hoping that something would go away on its own and you can just move forward. Okay, but it has made a resurgence. I do feel that for some of you, this is going to be about somebody coming back from your past, or you're trying to move through an old relationship, but there's still some kind of ties left, and it's dragging on and dragging on. You know, I don't know what you're going to do about that. So let's take a look to see what the angel answer card has to tell us. For those of you that this did not apply to, or maybe some of it did, formulate your question in your mind, and maybe the angel answer card will the message is, no matter which side of the coin you fall on, you know, don't spend too much time crying over spilled milk, because what happened in the past has happened, and you cannot change the way that it went down. It can't be changed. So you can either turn around and face that new 2 of Cups, balance yourself out, have that good relationship with yourself, or try to find that good relationship that's best for you, having met your match. I don't sense that if this person has come back, I don't think that this will, I think that the person has come back because their karmic debts that are coming due. And I think once that is over and done with, then everybody can move on. But if you're in that situation, are you going to wait around? I mean, that could take God knows how long. So what are you going to do in the meantime? All right, one card. Reconsider. And that's what you should be doing. You should be reconsidering your position, where you are now, where do you want to go, what has occurred. Sometimes we don't always get the answers as to why things happen the way that they, you may never know, you know. So what are you going to do about that? All right, let's pull one. I'm going to read to you the reconsider card, but let's pull one Heart Oracle Tarot to see what that's going to tell us. Okay, and then I'll read the meaning of the reconsider. And I think that goes both ways. I think there's a reconsideration of this person from the past coming back. But I'm sensing that it's not going to play out the way, I don't know, that it's not going to, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Let's see, maybe this can help me. The throat chakra. Remember I was talking about your voice across all mediums? All right, let's take a look at the reconsider card here. There is an element of your plan that should be reevaluated. I think this came up the other day. Take some time to really go through your project or proposal thoroughly. Share your intentions with a trusted friend or advisor who can give you objective feedback. There's the throat chakra. Ask your angels for guidance. This is not the moment to make the change in your life that you're considering. A better time will come, or you'll realize that you wish to choose a different kind of transformation for yourself. Remember, it goes back to the Lover's card. Are you doing what you want to do in your heart of hearts, or are you doing what you think you should? You know, this could be about getting back in a relationship with somebody that because, you know, maybe they've got a drinking problem or their financial situation is bad. So, okay, we've got history together. Let me go back and help that person. Okay, well, you know, you can do that and in that karma between, but it's not meant to stay. So just keep that in mind. Where's the throat chakra? Here it is. Okay. Located in the throat area, this chakra is associated with communication, sound, creativity, and the ability of clear audience, clear hearing. That's what I have. Many artists, speakers, writers, singers, and others in the creative arts have active throat chakras. To activate this chakra, use your voice in some way. Sing, chant, hum, laugh, make some kind of noise. Energizing this chakra helps you speak your truth in a clear and kind manner, improving your relationships and increasing your sense of well-being. And I do feel that somebody's really kind of repressing what it is that they want to say or what they really feel in their heart of hearts. You know, I don't know what to tell you about that. Practice. Practice makes perfect. I do feel what I'm picking up, I think, more than anything, is that for some of you, there will be some kind of psychic activity occurring that is going to point the way for you. So if you've been getting a lot of signs, a lot of synchronicities, hearing the same songs over and over, seeing the same numbers over and over, maybe seeing somebody's name or hearing their name over and over again, coming up in weird places, seeing their initials on license plate numbers or their last 4 digits of their phone number over and over. Things like that. Pay attention, because the universe is trying to get your attention and they're trying to point you in a direction. Okay? Now you have to figure out what that means for you. Everybody's guides speak to them in a different manner, but if that's occurring, it's occurring for a reason. So pay attention to that. All right. So until next time, Earth signs, namaste. Earth signs, I got another message. Sometimes this happens, and that's really why I needed to take that break so I can get a little bit of clarity. But there's my guides gave me another message to pass on to you. Let me see if I can find those cards. It was about that 5 of coins and 5 of cups, and it has to do with the true nodes moving into the signs of Leo and Aquarius. Hold on one second. Let me find those cards for you. There's the 5 of coins, and where is that 5 of cups? The message is that which you think, oh God, where is that card? That which you think is not good for you is really the best thing for you. Now, what do I mean by that? See how they're faced towards each other? And so someone is trying to avoid doing something, okay? But they know that they can't move out of this space of the 5 of cups unless they do it. So that which perhaps you think will not work is going to be your solution. This is what I mean by the karmic credits coming due. This is going to be about past lives, and the past coming back. And this is going to be about, because the true North Node is going into Leo, this is really about stepping into who you are as opposed to doing everything that you've done for people before. So what can happen is those people, it's going to be, you're going to find out, I'm trying to think how to put the message because they're telling me. This is about recognizing that those people that you've been hanging with or those people that you've been doing a lot of things for are past life enemies. They're hidden enemies. That's what the South Node can bring up is hidden enemies. This is what the karmic debts and credits are all about. And in a past life, you've already paid those. You've already done that work. So now it's about stepping into who you are. And I think that you're going to be meeting some new people. Typically when the nodes move across your vertex, this brings new people and new situations. Some of these people will be hidden enemies, but there are going to be some that may appear to be enemies who really aren't. They are coming back, and the situations are coming back because they owe you. And so in order to work through that karma, you're going to have to let them pay you back in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Of course, free will, you don't have to do that, but that's the message. So I want you guys, that's why I think a lot of you are experiencing a lot of psychic activity, because you're recognizing that you're supposed to go in a particular way, but you don't want to go that way. You don't think there's any value in going that way. You think it's going to end up being the same way that it's always been. But sometimes it's always hard to do the North Node. It's so much easier to do the South Node. There's a level of comfort there. And we don't want to move outside of our comfort zone. Well, the things that are going to be occurring to you, occurring around you and for you, are designed to move you out of your comfort zone so you can go in a new direction, so that you can go towards your north node. This is always the direction you want to be going. And what happens is, once you can course correct and move that way, all of the gifts that you have, all of the things that you've done before from the south node, are gifts that you're bringing over from the past life. Your challenge is to figure out how to use those without falling back into the south node, how to take those past life gifts, karmic credits and karmic debts, and move in a new direction. Okay, so that was the message, and I hope that made sense. I don't even know. Okay, so until next time, namaste.